everybody! I promise this is not an unpacked video. I'm sitting here with some Radiant Rain that I pulled from the warehouse. Radiant Rain was and is a color concentrate. We had, as a company, the original company, Art, we sold in a spray bottle. We sold with a big fat bingo dauber top. I had one of these tops. This type of top. This is not a dauber, this is actually a color sample. I'm working on a new product. Yay, there's a little hint. But this is what our original bingo dauber looked like. And then fast forward to 2010 when I licensed some of my product out. Now, licensing doesn't mean that you sell it. Licensing means they're renting the right to use your formulas to make it and sell it to market for a fee, okay? And they insisted on pushing this Radiant Rain. I told them that the reason why we eventually had gone to a liquid in a bottle with a pour spout was because spray bottles are not really designed to have mica and glitter and stuff go through them. They're designed to have water go through them. The spray company will tell you that there's a rate of failure on them, even with water. So I'd advise these guys to put them in a spout, and they didn't. They did put them in these, and I love the shape of the bottle. I gotta say, I love the sexy bottle that they picked. It's really nice, feels good in your hand. They went with a cute dauber top, a little bit smaller. Great product here, it's really great. But when the licensing ended and the factory that was making these for them was all done, they were sent to us, okay? Now during this process, some of the colors turned out to be too concentrated. They actually ended up having to change all the tops on some of the colors and put the spout on them because they really wouldn't go through the spray bottle at all. Let's see, what color is this? Snapdragon in a pourable. So these are really concentrated colors. So what is Radiant Rain made out of? Radiant Rain is a hybrid watercolor acrylic. It's got some acrylic in it. It's got water and other chemicals in there to kind of thin it down. But basically think of it as a hydrous watercolor with some acrylic in it. I will repost right as I post this video up the old video I did in 2008 making this 8-inch tile with the Radiant Rain. Now in 2008 I didn't know anybody that was worried about getting cells and yeah, I put it on the email campaign, but I haven't put it up on the YouTube channel, so none of our subscribers here have seen it. But it's this old video I did where I had put the color on here and used my heat gun and got this marbling. Now, these things are great. You could put them in the bottom of bread baskets, obviously trivets. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually finish this with some red around the edges. And, of course, now that everybody's playing with resin, I'm going to put some resin on top. By the look of the shine of this, I think I sprayed this, if memory serves me, I was using a spray lacquer. And you don't necessarily need to do that if you're going to use resin because the Radiant Rain is water soluble and resin's water insoluble. So you could literally let the tile dry. I mean, dry till you think it's dry, even with the heat gun. Probably within an hour or two, you could resin the thing. It'd be really gorgeous. And this is going to be a couple little pieces kind of put together. But I wanted to see what I had done in 2008, 10 years ago with this. Anyway, I'm going to unbox these, put some up on the table, okay, and get going here. So why I have these is I kind of pulled them from the warehouse. We're moving about 1 mile down the road, and I had pulled these out. They had found way more boxes of these things. I had them at $2 off per bottle. They originally were $6.50. thinking we didn't have that many, but we found oodles more. So word of warning, these will be still $2 a piece. I'm going to honor that till August 26th. It's up on the website, I think. But after that, they're going to go back up to the regular price. There's no reason to give them the weight. They're absolutely fabulous product. And when you see what I can do with these things, I'm sure you're going to agree. Be right back. So when this color collection was designed, sorry, trying to get my camera back a little bit. We intentionally, because they had me pick the colors, put colors in the dauber. Let's see if I can get a close-up on these things. That wasn't a spray. And put colors that were in a spray, obviously, that were not on the dauber, okay? They complement one another. I think this is the nutmeg, this is the brownies and metallic. So, you know, in the daubers we have the gold and the bronze and an antique gold and the silver gold. But then when you're getting to your violets, this color is passion fruit. And there's nothing like that up here close to the spray. Probably the closest violet is periwinkle in the spray. And snapdragon, which most of you, if you're fans of the product line, you know it's a nice clean violet. And then this looks purple in the camera, but this actually is blue flame. Okay, and then that's a red violet. In the dauber, we have Plum Crazy, which is a blue violet. Moonbeams was this kind of on the border. Is it really a violet? Is it a blue? I think that's where we're at on the actual blue. Oh, Wine and Roses. Depends on if you call Wine and Roses a violet. It's a really, really deep red wine, but it still has a purple tone to it. So you can see that different colors complement one another by having both the spray and the dauber, okay? We put the deep, rich reds, pull these back up. We put the deep, rich reds in the daubers. Red is a really strong color. Sprays are not necessarily consistent. They don't necessarily spray straight. It felt more sane to put like a dark, hot poppy red. Then I think this is hot cinnamon. And we have a color called Jasper Red. I really need to play with this. Jasper Red is more like the color of the Jasper agate. It's a red, but it's like a dirty red. It's been dirtied up and there's a lot of iron oxide, like, you know, copper and bronze metallic in it. Other reds, which really aren't true once we're straying off, but Plumeria is in the red family because it's a pink. Coralberry is a coral, but it's got a violet pearl to it, so it's absolutely stunning. But those are your reds, and there really is no real red up in the spray other than persimmon, but you're not getting red, you're getting a bright orange. And speaking of one of the other favorite oranges in the family is that ginger peach. It's absolutely stunning color. And the oranges, let's see, in the daubers, I don't really see. Probably the closest would be that coral berry, but as soon as you add that violet pearl, even though it's an orangey coral, it's got a violet cast to it when it's dry, so it's not necessarily orange. There are blues in both, but not the same blues. As far as blues go, we have rich cobalt. That's hands down a favorite of everybody's. Mediterranean blue, very beautiful, light valued blue. That's periwinkle. And I believe, yes, this was that, oh, that's the Plum Crazy. Technically this is Moonbeams. Moonbeams, like I said, it's on the border. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, that's not Moonbeams. This color is Blue Ice. Ah, what a really gorgeous color. Yes, that is a blue. That's considered a blue. And the sprays, we have that's Snapdragon. We have Moonbeams. So Moonbeams is in the spray. It wasn't in the dauber. So Moonbeams is kind of that blue, but that icy blue that almost borders a violet. And then this is such a pretty color. I think this is Bashful Blue. Yeah, Bashful Blue in the spray is a really, really pretty blue. So if that gives you some kind of idea. So, oh, and the iridescences, which I'm going to use, I'm going to lay down a little interference and put some other colors on top so you can see these. But there is a green pearl left, there's a red pearl left, and there's a blue pearl left. And I think there's a lilac. I don't think there's much red pearl. I don't have it on my table, so there must not have been in there. Another color that's kind of interesting, Namorado. And of course, nutmeg, if you want to talk about browns, nutmeg's in the dauber. Namorado is a very, very light color. It was put in a spray. It's like a coffee tea stain if you want to distress something, age something. Now, I shouldn't have even been shaking that in the camera. All of us have that habit of shaking our products, okay? So here's the word of warning on the sprays, okay? Daubers are good. They've got their little bingo spring that's going to work. Sprays, and many spray companies have said this, don't make the mistake of, I'm going to do it with this, shaking it. That, put it on the camera, shaking it, okay? That first shake, especially if you're doing it this way, you're taking all of that mica that's settled on the bottom and flying it right up into the head. If you did that on a spray bottle, you have a good chance of clogging it. I mean, I just shook that Namorado without even thinking, and I know better, okay? So what do I do if I want to stir up that beautiful red pearl in the bottom of the Namorado? Looks like that little seal on the, it's supposed to stay around that cap. Put that back here on that little cap here, okay? I take the end of my bamboo skewer and just stir the darn stuff up, okay? It's basically a swirling action. If you didn't want to take the top off or you didn't have time, you would be swirling the bottle. You're not shaking the bottle, you're swirling it. This is just a tool, and this, chances are this will fail eventually. I've had many that don't. I have people go, oh, my ginger peach worked to the last drop. And other people say it didn't work right away. I use a lot of pipettes. If you want to spray, I get it. You may have to transfer it to another spray bottle. We do have a whole bunch of these empty. I think we have them up on the website. Probably should do like a dozen pack. I think we only have a 4-pack of the empty bottle because people now can make their own sprays with the primary elements and our product called the solution and water. But as we were packing, like I said, I thought we were down to the bottom of these, and some of these we still have 300 of. So I thought, why not do a video, show people how to use them. And that's, again, that's how you stir the Namorado. Sorry to get off track. And this, again, this was made, the scrapbookers at the time really liked that coffee tea stain look. So, all right, I'm going to put, decide what colors I'm going to use and do just a little cheapy kitchen tile. Now, for experimentation, or if the kids want to do something, you can get these little 4x4 tiles at Home Depot. Well, of course, I haven't bought them in a couple of years, but it was $13 for 100 of them, meaning 13 cents a piece. Great project for the kids to make stuff for presents. Yes, you could make trivets off of them. Actually, one of our artists took this size tile, put it in the bottom of a serving tray, and grouted it in. Her husband had to cut one of the tiles and have to make it fit. But she did a treatment with the Radiant Rain, put it in the bottom of a serving tray, grouted it in. Of course, today I want to put it in the tray and resin over the top of it because many more of us are playing with resin and pouring. But this, I think, is, looks like a 6-inch because this is a 4-inch. So this is a 6x6, which is a really good size. I forget what it costs, but they're pretty darn cheap at Home Depot because it's just a basic white bathroom tile. But they make great gifts. So let me get my colors chosen. Be right back. Also, to move it around, I'm going to use my new heat gun, my HG6618. Now, I bought this for resin, and I bought this from watching this fantastic couple on YouTube. They have a channel called Artist Till Death, young couple, Jeff and Erica. They work with resin every night. And I really was searching for lots of heat guns, doing the paint pouring. I've gone through, I lost my really expensive one, we used to rubber stamp with it. They had the 2-stone and did 2-step, I think it was a 2-speed. It went up to an amazing amount of degrees, but it got lost in a trade show coming back. And since then, of course, I got the little cheapy one for rubber stamping. And then I go to Home Depot and I thought I'm buying the creme de la creme, the one that does it all, and the thing's got no guts, okay? But this little puppy from Artist Till Death, and it comes with the attachments. I just unpacked it. So it comes with the attachments. I think this is the attachment that I've seen Jeff and Erica use, but I know this heat gun's gonna be fantastic for what I need. I need some heat, I need some pressure, I need the opportunity to do a high-low, and so many heat guns are just stuck with one pressure. So if you go to their YouTube channel, you're gonna see a link straight to Amazon. And like I said, I searched for months and bought all kinds of guns, and it was just so easy to click on their affiliate link. They get a little credit for sending you to Amazon. And Prime had it to me the next day. There's no better way to do that. Anyway, I just want to talk about heat guns before we got started because it will get noisy. All right, that violet spray. But I am going to intentionally put some red. Almost like I'm doing a resin pour, right? No, I wish this was, oh yeah, look at that. I like that. Okay, that's fun. Okay, now we know that red's going to run into that. There's so much red right here in this corner. I'm just going to kind of like use that color to do the sides like I didn't do on my big piece to begin with years ago. I'm liking this one better already by just not trying to dump it all on at once, putting it in different sections and drying until it's dry. Again, I'm picking up that red, moving it around on these 4 edges. So there's a little bit of color wrapping all the way around. This is plumeria. Passion fruit. This is passion fruit. This color, passion fruit, is very violet. So I'm spritzing. Oh, look at that. You see that? Just a tiny bit of the violet pearl in there. That's nice. I think I can handle a tiny bit more ginger peach here. Now there comes a point to where do I just let it set up, because some of these patterns are pretty just the way they are. I think I want a little bit of that violet spray here. See, it's going to reactivate it because we're just trying to dry it right now. But I am loving what's happening there. Actually, I think I can also, I don't know if I've got one here, but you guys could see where this dark pattern is. It'd be really nice to take a gold pen and just outline that lightly before it gets resined over the top. This would be really pretty with resin on top. A few of these paper plates sitting around. They're pretty darn handy to have in your craft room. And they're recyclable. You can wipe them down and reuse them over and over again. Ooh, I like how that solid gold's coming out. It's nice on the paper. It's not as intense. No, I kind of like that gold, so I guess that's going on first. Don't know if this is the right or the wrong way to do it. I'm just kind of going with this intuitive thing. I'm gonna let the colors flood and speak to me. Come on, Cobalt. You know you did it beautiful on the paper for us, honey. You know, I kind of like being able to do those patterns. It's crazy. Oh yeah, I'm loving this Mediterranean. Oops, I didn't need to get that all in that gold there, but I think I'm going to tilt this just a little bit. See if we can get this little guy to activate again. Come on, here we go. Now we're getting some darker colors. The bingo dauber in here is just a little bit stiff. Interesting, where that little bit of gold and the Mediterranean blue turned, I got a little bit of a teal color I was looking for. That was a nice surprise. This gold is actually quite pretty with that. So let's get a little experimental here. Maybe too many colors, but whoa, there's a little bit of green. I'd say that's key lime, guys. See how that colored up that paper? Just that test of the paper. Ooh, is that strong. And there's a lot of glare on that because of that shine. I don't know, that key lime's awful gold for that. I don't want to turn this upside down, but just for a second, I want to see what does that look like on a regular background without all that green on the plate. Ooh, I'm liking what that green's doing on there. That is really pretty. Now, by letting them dry naturally, you are going to get a little bit more shimmer, but you just got to be really patient, okay? When you're hitting them with the gun, you're kind of forcing them to dry right where you got them, because remember, these are acrylic and a little bit of water, okay? So I don't think we have enough of this dark blue on. This thing wasn't really moving that well. So I'm going to kind of put a little bit more on here. Let that blue kind of do its thing. I feel like I've lost some of my gold, even though when you pick it up and look at it in the light, you see that gold over here, it's already starting to dry. It's a really light, transparent, sparkly gold. So maybe I really didn't lose as much as I thought. The dauber, though, is giving me this texture that I'm not exactly thrilled with. So it's not all of them, it's just this little one guy here, because I'm having to fight it. I'm getting these little spongy marks. They're cute, but I don't want them to dry like that. So I just shook it again. Crazy, but I just put a tiny bit of a violet spray because I know violet and blue will look pretty. And I'm just going a little, just a poof, so it breaks up those little sponge marks. and I can get some pretty patterns. Now, if I want to pour my color one way or use my bamboo skewer to kind of coax it, you can do that. Of course, you can draw with it. You know, to get the patterns that you're looking for. The sky's kind of the limit on what you can do with these. And they're extremely shimmery after they dry, as you can tell by that original one. Now, one other thing I did a long time ago when the Radiant Rings came out, and it's a little bit of a messier process, but why not? Let's get messy now that we've done this clean portion. I'm going to move my towels off and let them dry to the side. I'll get back to those later. I'm going to do a little drop resin on these, and I'll show you guys in the next little video. But okay, I'm back. One of the things we were doing with the Radiant Rings 10 years ago was making wrapping paper. I was using Deli Paper, like you guys have seen me use Deli Paper for the gel press plate with the Vivid. Well, we didn't have Vivid at the time. I was using Radiant Rings. Now, I swear there was bigger sheets than these 12 by 12s. At the time, we were using craft mats. Of course, now that I do paint pouring and resin work, I happen to have painter's plastic around. And this is just like one big giant craft mat. Now, it's a little bit different than what you guys are used to seeing me do. I have all kinds of purples and violet combinations over here. We'll see how much I stick to the blues or if I go blue-violet. I'm going to get these separated out where I know which is the actual blues. And when I'm getting into like a color like Plum Crazy, which is a really dark violet, in the Snapdragons, I want to get these separated because as I'm going, so I've got my Moonbeams and my Periwinkle. Blue Flame is technically a blue, but it's bordering violet. And then this color, Rich Cobalt, which is probably a little bit too red. It's more of a wine and roses. It's called, I'm sorry, Rich Cobalt. This is called Wine and Roses. This is Rich Cobalt. And it may be a little bit too red for this blue-violet group. We'll see. But let's get started now. It's not like you would think it would be. I'm crumpling my paper up. Now, and if there's specific sections that I want to hit, you grab those sections, bring it to the forefront, kind of crumple it up. So, okay, well, this is naturally going this way. I'm going to take this and kind of grab it this way. Pull them in. Okay, I need my gloves. Sorry. Fresh pair of gloves. I don't like to get paint on my hands anymore. I handle too much paint. And everything that goes on your skin goes into your bloodstream, so be sure to use proper precautions. Those of us that love playing with color, you know, I love playing with color. It's my life. But still need to be careful about this. Now, I've been finding dark to light works. This Blue Flame's pretty dark. This Snapdragon's pretty dark. I think I'm just going to go right out there and start with the purple. I haven't stirred my Snapdragon up. I'm not shaking it. Remember, it's a spray. I'm just going to take my bamboo skewer. Yes, it looks well stained. And just stir up the bottom of it. Put my tip back on. And give this a spritz. And on my plastic, I don't care if it goes over. And if it did, I could sit and do this and pick up all the paint. I'm actually transferring more on the plastic than what, more is coming off the paper than what was left on the paper behind. So I can spread that apart. Now, I like that, but I think I want just a tiny bit of purple right there. So before I get going, I could just hit it with one more little oopsie right there. Make sure that area got covered, right? Now, what you want to do is dry them in between. This is probably the part you have to be the most patient. Now I'm going to use a completely different blue. I'm loving that Mediterranean blue I used on the tile. Once again, kind of just gathering up areas. There's no right or wrong way to do this. If you're doing this, sometimes it's a great way to get rid of your aggressions too. Crumple that paper up and go, ah. However it turns out is however it turns out. And just start putting that blue on. Or you could put the blue on your surface. If you want to take your dauber and kind of put that paper, put it down here. And actually for the sprays, it's nice being able to spray the color down and not worry if it's going to spray forward, because not all sprays spray forward like you like. So that's a really light blue called Bashful Blue. So in theory, I can mop up all that Bashful Blue, take my paper, wrap it, re-wrap it. Dirty that I see there's no blue, kind of crumple it up again. Very scientific, can you tell? Seems like I have a little bit of it over there. I don't want it to be that balanced. There's a little bit of paint still down there, that's okay. I'm looking at what I'm going to do next. So I've got some blue, I've got some violet. Let me go to a periwinkle, a much lighter violet. Gonna stir my bottle because it hasn't been stirred up yet since I opened it up. Handy dandy bamboo skewer. I think I want some periwinkle over here. Some periwinkle over here. Again, I'm trying to grab it where all the white is. When it gets too wet again, I'm going to dry it. You can dry it in between each color. You can dry it every couple colors. Depends on how wet you get this thing. Oops, I shook it. I'm not supposed to shake it. Spraying it with the periwinkle. That's a pretty color. And it's lighter than all the rest. Oh, I'm liking the periwinkle. Did I get it on the right side though? That's the other thing, is make sure you're spraying on the right side. I don't know, it doesn't look like I got any on the back. Maybe I got some on the back. Is that such a light color? Okay, so I could probably introduce a gold here. Because I have a lot of color here, I'm actually going to take my little paper towel and kind of mop that up. I have an awful lot of blue and violet on it. I don't know how much I want that transferred. Right, so I'm going to take my solar gold. That's what color it is. Carefully again, I'm trying to expose white areas that I still don't see color. Hard to find now because it's getting pretty covered with the paint, but I'm going to try to find areas that need that gold. Of course, who doesn't like blue, purple, and gold? Reminds me of New Orleans, right? Isn't that the fleur-de-lis colors? Okay, so that gold made it really wet. We need to dry this now. You can see what's happening here though. We're starting to get a really pretty batik, and quite frankly, I could dry this and then just mist the whole thing with this beautiful lilac pearl, and the whole thing will have a lilac shimmer, but you'll have your individual patterns. I'm going to dry this and flatten it out and dry it and flatten it out. So give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm going to take the sound down. In the video, I kind of talked about the deal. When we were packing, we thought we had a few of these left, and I mean, I had some boxes up on the shelves. They weren't exactly marked, so I thought what we had was what we had, and of course we're not making them anymore, but we end up with 300, 200, 400 of some of these colors now. So I have them for $2 a bottle right now. I'm going to honor that deal that's on the website until August 26th. It's not much longer. I think that's next weekend, or it's the end of this week. And then they're going back up. They're $6.50 normal. I might keep them on a everyday discount of maybe $4 1/4 or something like that, to make it still nice for you guys to get a sweet little discount on these things, because we aren't going to make them anymore. But there's no reason, like I said, to give the store away. We obviously need the money. Moving is very expensive, kids, let me tell you. So one more time to dry. I'm like kind of letting it dry in phases. I'm loving this beautiful hint of gold that I'm getting. Can you see how gorgeous that is? Let's see if I can get this in the camera for you. This is absolutely stunning. Now you could use way more expensive paper than I did, of course. Okay, but can you imagine how stunning these shimmering colors would be under the resin? Again, we're back to iridescent metallic colors. That's what we make. So I'm liking these little bits of gold on these edges. I'm liking what's happening here, that royal snapdragon with that silver gold over the top. And then it looks like I've got a nice little patch bit down here, but I'm missing some here. So I'm going to completely dry this because I don't want to move around the pretty gold I like. And then add one more little dauber of the gold, and then do a spritz of the violet all over, and it'll be finished. So give me a sec. Okay, my plastic is still a little moist below, and that's not helping this thing dry. So I'm mopping off my little plastic sheet here, some paper towel. Still a little bit moist in this one corner, but I'm loving this. Is oh my gosh, I don't know if any of you guys were in the rubber stamping scrapbooking thing, but this is starting to remind me of those handmade papers that we used for putting in our cards when we were doing card making. Because it's that gold batik look. I don't know, guys. I really love this. I have to try this under resin. But I'm just going to give you a slight heads up. I can't tell you anything about the name of it, but I am working on a new product for resin. It's in development now, and the labeling is just gone into production. So as soon as we get closer, I'll start announcing pre-orders. But but so you know I'm playing more with resin, but this batik look, sorry for the segue there, this batik look, this beautiful batik-y gold is gorgeous. Part of it is obviously crumpling up the paper. Part of it, of course, is how transparent and shimmery the Radiant Rain is. I'm liking what's happening here. I'm liking that Mediterranean blue. I think I want a little bit more Mediterranean blue over here. So now that I'm looking at my piece, I'm literally going to do just a tiny little crumple here, a spot crumple if you want to call it that, and just kind of put that blue on, okay? And then I'm going to do a bigger spot crumple here because I really want some gold over here. And I'm not squeezing it up as much, so wherever that raised area is, now I'm getting a little bit more brave. I'm going to get that beautiful batik. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, okay, this makes me happy. You guys can see the whole thing. This makes me very happy. Colors used: Mediterranean blue dauber, snapdragon, and periwinkle spray, solar gold. Is that all the colors that's in there? And I am going to finish it off with a little bit of the violet pearl. I did not end up using the Plum Crazy. It's much darker. I think I'm going to use that in another piece. I don't know, but I think I did one little spritz of the Bashful Blue. So these are the colors that I use: the solar gold, the Mediterranean blue in the dauber, the periwinkle spray, the snapdragon spray, the Bashful Blue spray, and a little bit of the lilac pearl is going to go on after I completely dry this. So I'm going to flatten this out best I can. Dry it one more drying. That's beautiful. Gosh, that's beautiful. Well, I think this is absolutely stunning. It's not completely dry, so it's a little bit of risk for me to put the spray over, but just so you can see me do it. And if you want a really, really light, just dusting, spray it far away. Don't spray it close. You don't want to reactivate your colors below. So, not sure if you guys can see how far up this is, even though I'm going to have to do it as an angle. But I'm going to do this way far away as an angle and just let it rain. That's it. Just a little mist. You see if I can see the violet in there? It's so hard because all that gold is glimmering and some of that's still wet. Just for insurance. One more little bits. Okay. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. See if I can get a close-up of this so you can see how glorious this little piece of simple little deli paper turned out, you know. So you have more expensive parchment paper or other type of papers you want to work with. Of course, this process is going to work, but I think this will be absolutely beautiful as a treatment under resin or part of a mixed media piece, or who knows what kind of artwork we can incorporate that in. But that's just a simple 12 by 12 piece of deli paper, Radiant Rain by Color Art, on painter's plastic, used as my craft mat. You can find us at www.colorart.com. Please subscribe to our channel if you like this video. And one more time, these guys are on special for one more week till August 26th, and then they're going back to regular price. Like I said, we're almost moved completely. We're halfway into the new building as of yesterday, but Like I said, when we started unpacking the corners, we found out we had cases of these things. So no reason to sell them at $2 a bottle for very long. Take advantage of the deal while you can. You guys have a great day, and I want to thank you for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.